Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerdlings of all ages, how are you? My name is Jorisar and I'm here to take you through a couple of games from EGL4 London that was played recently. In the top right corner from the winners bracket round 3, spawning as the red Zerg on GSL Daybreak, we have Dignitas.Tan, otherwise known as Tan Dong Ho. And in the bottom left side of the map, spawning as the blue Protoss, it is none other than 4K's Dream. Now some of you might be watching this going, hang on a second, Jorisar. Dream's actually a member of Team Dignitas as well, and you would be absolutely correct. At EGL4, Dream was still playing for 4 Kings, and he then switched over to Dignitas following an impressive run of results in this tournament. So you will know him as Dignitas.DreAm if you're watching this on YouTube. Reasonably standard play coming out from both sides so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary in the opening. Extractor trick coming out for Tan. I was really psyched up about these games simply because I was standing behind the players as they played this tournament. It was, of course, held at the Emirates Stadium, home of Arsenal FC in London. So I was incredibly excited to be there and seeing all the players up close and personal. I even did an interview with Dignitas.DreAm. Check that out. There's an EGL interview video on my YouTube channel. But the pylon on the low ground here for Dream, a signal of intent to completely wall off and hopefully go for some sort of early Nexus play. We see no early pull coming out from Dignitas.Tan, who does decide to grab that first extractor before sticking the pull down. All reasonably standard play, opting not to go for that incredibly fast hatchery first build. We do have Dream with a probe just sort of catching out for that hatchery timing at the natural, but of course it's not going to come anytime soon, and Zerglings are going to be there closer than Dream realizes, so he's probably just going to retreat with that probe and plant a forward pylon somewhere. Still no gas from our Protoss player. Reasonably standard play, saving up for that Nexus, which I can only presume is going to go down about, bam, right there, right now. Some decent Overlord placement from Tan, wanting to get something straight into the main base before the first Stalker has the time to come out. But of course, because he went Forge first, followed by a Nexus, that Stalker isn't going to be coming out for quite some time, especially since no gateway currently exists for our Protoss player. Tan will get wind of this very, very soon. In fact, in just a couple of seconds, he will first see the Forge, and then he'll see the first gateway going down. He's going to feel reasonably safe. He'll probably use the opportunity to expand, I imagine. Zergling speed now going down. Drones being taken off of gas as soon as that 100 was reached. Now we're just putting some back on in order to tech up a bit later. And he's going to get a little bit of map control early on here. Very, very nice from Dignitas.Tan. That Overlord getting ever so slightly too close to the photon cannon there, but does manage to escape with his life, hopefully in time to scout the base where absolutely nothing is going on except a couple of gases being taken. It's all very quiet, players happy to play a sort of macro game. These Zerglings going absolutely everywhere across this side of the map, just not only to hunt for this probe, but to see if any forward pylons have been placed there. And the probe does finally decide it wants to go in for a bit of scouting. It does get past the Queen, but it's really not going to get past those speedlings, so it's not really going to see much other than... Oh my goodness, did he see the Baneling nest go... He did not see the Baneling nest go down. So this is going to be huge. Dignitas.Tan going for a Baneling bust at the front of 4K Dream here. We're going to see what happens. Dream is completely walling off this front, so there's no route out. Normally, going the long way, you have a small gap, maybe with a Zealot in it, so that units have a way to go out. But as this wall off currently stands, it looks like Dream is going to have to destroy a building in order to get out of his own base. The question is, what would he destroy? Most Protoss players tend to destroy something far away from the Nexus, because that means there's the largest possible route to the main ramp. But I've seen a lot of people researching +1 and then destroying the Forge, but in this case that would just give Ling run-bys such easy access to the main base. I can't see him doing that. But we do have Lings and a bunch of Banelings coming in. Tan is very serious about this attack. The Banelings come, they target the pylon there, and boom! The pylon goes down, but oh no! Clutch force field from Dream there means that Tan cannot get into the base. Another gateway going down to prevent access to the mineral line at the natural. Absolutely beautiful play. Some of the Lings do come in. Will he get a force field off? And ooh, one does go off. Crucially, only one Ling gets through, but essentially manages to take it out. This cybernetics core, however, has been unpowered, and it was in the middle of researching warp gate, so this could be horrible. Fortunately, both sides are playing a sufficiently defensive game that I'm willing to say that shouldn't matter too much. But Tan could just keep up the aggression July Zerg style and really maybe bust one of these buildings over here and just run into the main. That's what I would do if I were him at this point, rather than target this pylon, because there are so many buildings behind it continuing to wall it off. If we take a quick look at the unit counting station, it does seem like there are 21 drones to 29 probes. So if this attack doesn't do very much for Dignitas.Tan, DreAm is going to come out with a reasonable advantage economy-wise. We see no further tech coming out for Tan at the moment, so he does appear to be investing quite a lot in these lings and blings, but it looks like he's just going to retreat home and try and lick his wounds and do some sort of macro game. We have got the third base now going down, another 2 gateways going down also for DreAm, and a very, very nice placement of this Overlord, which is going to sack itself to see what sort of tech DreAm is going at a slightly later stage. So that neutral supply depot really annoying DreAm at the moment for reasons I don't understand. And boom, it goes down so that his army of sentries can go forth and tickle other things. We have got a couple more gateways going down, everything looking reasonably good, and DreAm completely content to play a macro game here because he knows that Tan invested a reasonable amount in that early game. I really like what Tan is doing with the lings here. What's happening is a lot of Zerg players would tend to just pull Zerglings outside the base and sort of wait for an opportunity to attack and maybe morph some Banelings. But really good Zerg players always make sure that Zerglings are doing something. I mean, in this case, we're taking away the rocks so that it's harder for Protoss to force field this ramp. It's just a larger avenue attack for the Zerg player with their more mobile army at this stage in the game. And he's probably going to use some of those links to scout around as well to check the hidden pylons in the nether regions of the map in case Protoss wants to try some sneaky warp-in shenanigans. So I'm really liking that decision. Now it looks like DreAm wants to move out, but unfortunately he's SimCity'd his base up so much there's absolutely no way to do that. Ooh, Hallucination does finish, and a couple of Phoenixes do pop out. That's possibly what the Overlord was trying to scout for, to see if there was any sort of Stargate play, and the reason I say that is because a Roach Warren, there it is being constructed. So as soon as he saw absolutely no Stargate play, and it is the 10-minute mark now, so you'd expect to see a Void Ray or a Phoenix out by around this point, Tan just very simply decided to, hang on a second, I'm just going to go for a reasonably good land army. So he does see the hallucinated Phoenix. The Queen does get a couple of pot shots off at it, and that should tell him, based on the amount of damage it's doing to the Phoenix, that it is actually just a hallucination. Or DreAm could just leave it there and let it go poof. Oh dear. Okay, so if Tan wanted confirmation that was a hallucination, he just got it, and this Phoenix unfortunately didn't really do anything. But never mind, again, it's a hallucination, it's just energy. So we do have the Lings moving out across the map just to double check that DreAm doesn't have a third base up and running. They're going to see that he does not, and the gateway does actually get destroyed by DreAm. Now I'm not sure how much I like this in terms of SimCity, because all of a sudden the avenue to attack into the main base isn't that big. Okay, so he is rebuilding the gateway here. That is not a full wall off, so there is going to be a small avenue here, but once again it's rather close to the main ramp. Normally the Protoss wants the Zerg to sort of come all the way around before going up, but in this case there seems to be a route 1 straight into the main base. Hopefully though, with a couple of force fields, that shouldn't really matter. Oh, and he does completely walled up once again with the pylon. So DreAm just really liking destroying his own buildings today. That, or he just really doesn't want to have to deal with any sort of quick counter-attacks from the Zerg player. He recognizes he has an advantage, he's just going to play incredibly safe. But look at this Overlord placement. This is absolutely beautiful from Tan. Making sure there's no air shenanigans going on here, double checking all the flank points. Creep tumors being spread out to the south of the map as well to try and catch any attack that comes through this route. Beautiful Overlord placement, beautiful spread, and there's absolutely nothing I can complain about. We do have a couple of force fields going out, presumably to harass these couple of Lings as the army moves out. I might have missed that, but it looks like no significant losses were taken, and Overseer is going into DreAm's base right now as he gets the last couple of warp gates up and running. And the Observer does pop down. Does it have enough for gunk? It would have been so nice to see Contaminate on that Robo right about now, but unfortunately the Overseer doesn't quite have enough energy. So these Lings continuing to be a pain, getting a lot of scouting information, mainly exactly where on the map DreAm's army is, so that Tan can be completely prepared if and when this engagement does happen. It looks like DreAm is going to build a forward pylon and begin the push out through the south of the map, and we do have Tan potentially going for a counterattack, but then deciding to turn around and go home. A couple of Zerglings do spot one of the forward pylons, which might have explained why he went home, and here we go. The Protoss army is now on the creep, and DreAm is now going to engage Tan in his own base, or is he? He pulls back, makes the forward pylon, Guardian Shield is up, and here we go. Beautiful force field from those, oh, that is absolutely amazing. keeping the entire Zerg army out. The ones that do remain... Yeah, ooh, and a burrow coming in. Hydralisks look so cute when they're burrowed, like they're peeking out of the ground. Oh, I love them a bit. Okay, we do have the unburrow, some energy. Oh my god, there's so much energy on those sentries. Where do those force fields even come from? The burrow to heal didn't even do anything for Tan because there's just so much in the way of clutch force fields in this battle. The blink micro now, blinking the stalkers back, and it looks like this is curtains for Tan. The drones come out, they do die. There's a lot of Hydralisks left over, but Hydralisks without anything to tank for them is pretty bloody dangerous last time I checked. So I would be very wary. I don't think Tan can come back from this. And we do have the selective stalker blink forward now, just to make sure. Ooh, and there we go, the final blink forward, just making sure no reinforcements catch up with the main army, able to pick off units one at a time. Dignitas.Tan GG's and gets out of the game. This is particularly interesting because I actually had an interview earlier the day this game was played with 4ZvP's.DreAm, and he said to me one of the only players he was afraid of in this tournament was Tan, because he regards Tan as such a good Zerg. And he was worried that if he was going down into the losers bracket, Tan would be the one to bring him down. So his confidence boost after this first game must be amazing. But Tan had some really good aspects of his play as well. I loved the fact that he had so much map control with his overlords towards the end of the game there. And unfortunately, Dream just had a really good position onto the creep and used some reasonably nice blink micro to power his way through. So we're going to go into game 2 now to take a look what happens in the rest of this series. Stay tuned.